Okay, so we'll be looking under volume and surface area. We have looked into pyramid. Now we'll be specifically looking into another geometrical shape, which is cone. So cones, we do have a few types. Okay, we do have a few types. First would be the right circular cone. It's almost the same terms that you see for pyramid. So for a circular cone, okay, for a circular cone, your apex, okay, is directly above the center of the circular base of the cone. Okay, so this means this is your radius. Okay, if you see that from the center of the circle over here, this is O. Okay, then this is R, means that this is the center of the circle already. The O is the center of the circle. So when the point, okay, when the apex is directly above, okay, above the center of the circle, we call it the right circular cone. Okay, but what if today, okay, today you have a circular one, but your apex is not directly above the center of the circle? Then in this case, we call it the oblique. Okay, the oblique. You see my radius at the center of the circle here, because remember, radius is always from the center of the circle. So if today your apex, okay, is not directly above your center of the circle, is called an oblique cone. Okay, so besides this one, sometimes the cone can also go the other way around. Okay, it can go away like that. So your center of circle is here, this is your radius, and then here it will go down, right? You see, this part is no longer the center of the circle, so this one we also call it oblique cone. Okay, but this one is no longer circular already. You can see that it's a bit big. Okay, so we have these few types. So we are actually specifically looking at right circular cone. Okay, now looking at the net of the cone, okay, a typical cone should look something like that. Okay, we are looking at a right circular cone. So there are three things you need to remember. If you see what I mentioned over here, L, H, and R. Okay, all these three lengths you will need to remember, okay, when you are finding, because you need these three measurements, okay, to find out what is the surface area and volume of the cone. Okay, so you need to be careful what is the difference between H and L. Okay, sometimes in certain books they might call this as S. Why? Because they want to remember that this is known as the slanted height. So it's up to you how you want to remember. Some of them will choose to put it in L, but some of them will choose to put S. Okay, so remember, when we say slanted height, is always referring to the one that is outside. Okay, and then the one that we see, the H here, this H is called the perpendicular height. You need to remember also. Okay, when we are referring to height, we are referring to this perpendicular height. Okay, this perpendicular height must be 90% to the center of the circle, okay, of the circular base. So this one is the radius. So you need these three things to find out the volume and the surface area. Okay, so if you were to pull out, okay, the net of the cone, okay, you take out, you will see that you form two things. Okay, you form like a ice cream cone shape like that. Okay, you see this one, ice cream cone shape like that, and another one is your circular base. So this will help you to understand what is your way of finding the surface area. For you to find a surface area of the cone, you need to add the area of the ice cream cone, this part, okay, circular triangle here, and also the area of the circle over here. Okay, so what I want you to remember is, always remember this one. You will need to remember as if this is pi r times L. Okay, pi r L is the area of the ice cream cone over here. Okay, the ice cream cone over here, A1. Okay, then for you to find out the area of a circle, this one you already have learned, is called pi r squared. So this means for you to find the area, surface area, you will need to remember that you need to do pi r times L slanted length plus pi r squared. Okay, pi r squared. So you want to put however you want, it's up to you. Okay, this is the first formula that you need to remember. Then the second formula, not so much of an understanding, but you will need to remember. It's like similar to what we usually do for pyramid. Okay, so for volume of the cone, you always need to remember is 1/3 pi r square h. Be careful, we are using the perpendicular height. It's no longer the length already. Okay, no longer the slanted length. We are using the perpendicular height. If you are finding the surface area, then you see the one that we are using is the slanted height. So be careful which one you are using. Okay, perpendicular height. So these two formula is the core of remembering how to solve question with cone. Okay, so now let's look at the question 1. Radius of a circular is 14 cm. Of the circular cone is 14 cm and the height is 48 cm. Find the volume of the cone and the curved surface area of the cone. So for you to find the volume, remember you can write down volume of the cone is 1/3 pi r square h. Right? So do you have your radius? You have your radius equals to 14. You have your height equals to 48 cm. Right? So now we can find the volume. So A. So here we have volume equals to 1/3 pi r square h. So put in your value 1/3 pi times r. R is 14 cm square times your height. Height is 48 cm. So here you can press into your calculator and see what you get. Okay, so pi times 14 square times 48. So here you should get, in your calculator should come out with something like that. Okay, but you can also write it in decimal, but always, because this is a non-exact number, you put it into 3 significant figures. So here we have 9850 cm cubed. Okay, so we are finding the volume. Okay, now the next thing is I want to find the curved surface area over here. But you need to remember, what does it mean by the curved surface area? Because I'm not finding the whole thing, they want the curved surface area only. So when we say the curved surface area, we are referring to the first area over here. So this is known as the curved surface area. Okay, the curved surface area. So in this case, I only need to find one, which is the ice cream cone. Okay, but the problem now is I don't know what is my slanted length. The question didn't give you, but the question gives you enough information. If you look back at my this diagram, do you realize that this one, this height, this radius, they form a rectangular, they form a right angle triangle. So in this case, you will need to use the perpendicular, use the Pythagoras theorem, right? So this means you have a triangle like this. This is your radius equals to 14 cm. Your height equals to 48 cm. So what is your slanted length? So your length equals to 14 square plus 48 square. Okay, so here you put into your calculator, you should get 50 cm. So once you have your slanted length equals to 50 cm, you only need to find the curved surface area, not the whole thing. So the curved surface area, okay, would equals to pi r slanted length. So in this case, pi times r is 14, your radius times the length is 50. Okay, then here you have pi times 14 times 50. Here you should have 700 pi, or you can write into decimal place, you should get 2200 cm squared. Okay, this is only the curved surface area, remember. I'm not asking you to find the total surface area. Okay, the curved surface area. A1 only. Okay, next, a solid cone has a base radius of 5 cm. Total surface area equals to 220 cm squared. Find the slanted length or slanted height of the cone using pi equals to 22/7. So if question gives you pi over 22/7, please still try 22/7. Otherwise, you will get a different answer. Okay, so you have your radius. Okay, radius equals to 5 cm. Surface area also given you is 220. So this makes sense. Why? Because you are using r equals to 5, as surface areas also have, but to find the surface area you need slanted length. So you need to form an equation, right? Forming an equation will help you to find your slanted length. So let's say, for example, surface area of a cone is pi rl plus pi r squared. Correct now. So here I want you to always remember that what you can do is that you can factorize your pi r, right? Can you see pi r? You can factorize them out so that it's easy for you to solve the question. So here I pick up pi r, here I have L over r. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put in the pi, 22 over 7 times 5 times length plus 5. Then you have 220 on the left hand side. Then you sub in all the values for this. Okay, so what you're going to do is you can bring everything to the other side. So let's say, for example, I bring my 5. What I can do is this one I'll multiply them first. So they have 220 equals to 22 over 7, okay, times 5. 22 over 7 times 5, then you will divide by 7. Okay, so here you should get 110 over 7, multiply the length plus the 5. Okay, then next what you can do, you will pull this, okay, multiply, go to the other side, become division. So 220 you will multiply 7 over 110 equals to length plus 5. So 220 you multiply 7 over 110, you should get 14. So on one side you have 14, on the other side you have length plus 5. So this one will automatically give you the slanted length is 9 cm. Okay, so this is very simple. Yeah, so first thing first, always remember you form your equation. Okay, you find, then you substitute your substitute the values inside. If they give you 22 over 7, you use 22 over 7, and you realize, okay, this is the first step. Second step is you factorize, right? You factorize. Okay, then only you substitute your value. Okay, so be careful with what the question is trying to ask. Okay, now the question here give you the slant height of a solid cone is 3 times base area of the cm of 5 cm. So I want you to always have a habit, when you see something like that, please write down, follow the sentence and write down. They say that the slant height, so remember how you want to remember slant height, you put it as L. Okay, slant height is, read the question while we are putting in the formula. Okay, the slant height of the cone is 3 times, then you put 3 first. Okay, its base area of 5 cm, so its base area is r, but they also give you that the base area is 5, so you times 5. So automatically your base, your length is 15 cm, standard length is 15 cm. And then the next part of the question, it says its curved surface area is 462 cm. Okay, and then they want you to find the slant height of the cone. Okay, I think this one they got its base area of 5 cm. I think there's a problem with the question. Never mind, then we don't put in the 5 cm. Ignore the 5 cm. Radius of 5 cm. Oh, okay. Yeah, then you put in r equals to 5. I think there's a problem with the question. Let me double confirm. Okay, sorry. I want you to make some changes to the question. Take off the 5 cm. There's some error. Okay, just remember the one that we mentioned just now. Okay, so the slant height of the solid cone is 3 times the base radius. So this is L equals to 3r. You need to form an equation. This is very important. Then they tell you that its curved surface area is 462 cm squared. So what I want you to do is, looking at this, first thing, write down the surface area formula. We have pi r L plus pi r squared. Okay, then put out the pi r, factorize it out, so you have pi r L, pi r times L plus r. Okay, then surface area is still the same thing. So what you're going to do now is substitute the value in 462. But what do you realize? You realize that, okay, your r and L, you have 2 variables. You want it to make it one variable only. So here what I would do is I put pi r, L I'll substitute as 3r. Okay, because I already mentioned the height is 3 times the base area. So now we have 3r inside. So here we have 3r plus r is 4r. 4r times r, you will get 4r squared. So here we have 4 pi r squared. Okay, I just rearrange a bit so that it's easy for me to look at it. So now I have r squared equals to 462 divided by 4 pi. So what I usually will do is I pull everything to the other side so that it's easy for me to see straight away. Okay, like that. Okay, I put everything, whatever I want to find, I put everything first so that I can find r. So when I put into my calculator, here I should have 462 over 4 pi. Then here I will get that r equals to 0.063397715. You see, I write everything, right? But actually you don't have to. You just write 5 decimal place. You can change, but you don't have to change also, because this is not your answer, right? This is the radius only. So save your answer in your calculator. Okay, then you want to find the length, right? Length is 3r, so 3 times 6.06339. Okay, in your calculator, press 3 times alpha a, 18.2 cm squared. Sorry, cm only. This is your slanted length. Okay, just remove the 5 cm, then you will solve according to what I mentioned over here. Okay, now let's look at the next question, right? So when you look at this question, you need to be sensitive and that the question wants you to leave your answer in terms of pi. It means that you cannot write in decimal place already. You must write in pi. Okay, so now question 4 is a right circular cone is formed by joining the sides of OX and OY of a sector OXY of a circle with a center O and a radius 15 cm. So the length of the arc XY is 18 pi. Find the question. First thing asks you to find the radius of the cone. Okay, next thing they want you to find the height. Next they want you to find the volume. Okay, when you find the volume, you need the r radius, you need the height also. Okay, so now one thing is you need to remember, look back at the one that I draw for you. Do you realize that beside that we call this as a curved surface area, this is also known as a sector of a circle, right? This is a sector of the circle. And if you're looking at this, ignore whatever I mentioned, ignore ignore this one. Okay, ignore this one first. Looking at a sector of a circle, do you know that this length, this slanted length that we call for the cone, is actually a radius? Okay, length is the radius of the sector of the sector. So this is what the question means now. In this case, let me draw it out for you. You have a circular cone is formed by joining the side of OX and OY. So I have a circle over here. Okay, and they tell you that OXY is a sector of a circle. So this is the main thing first. So OXY is a circle. So means this is O, this is OX, this is OY. So when you join these two ends, okay, when you join these two ends together, you roll them together, it will form a cone. Okay, it will form a cone. Then now you look, OX and OY we already write in already. Second thing, what is the second information? They say that I have a center O. So double confirm this is center O already. Right. Next, they tell you that radius is 15 cm. Be careful. When I mention that radius is 15 cm, it's referring to the sector, not the circular base of the cone. So this means I'm referring that this is my 15 cm, which also means this radius I put big R. Okay, big R equals to the slanted length, which is 15 cm, and these two sides are the same. Okay, these two sides are the same. Then the question tell me that, oh, my arc length XY is 15 pi. Okay, so this is the diagram that is supposed to be. Okay, so now we have drawn this already, 18 pi, sorry. Okay, now the question first thing asked me is, what is the radius of the cone? Now you need to think back, when you have the cone, you should have a circle, right? You should have a circle. So if you were to join the OX and OY together, what do you realize? You realize that when you join them, you roll them together, you will form the circle. Okay, you can take out a paper and then you try. When OX and OY, you curve them together, form a cone, you should form a big circle over here. Alright, you should form a circle over here. Why? This part, okay, this part will automatically form a circle like that at the base, right? So this means what? This means, okay, this means the base, the circular base, okay, circular base circumference, okay, circumference equals to the arc length of sector OXY. So what is the arc length of OXY? OXY here is 18 pi cm. Okay, so remember your circular circumference, okay, should become what? Should have what? So now let me put the blue color here. Circular circumference supposed to be 2 pi r. Okay, then your arc length is what? The question gives you that the arc length is 18 pi. Okay, so what you can do? Cancel pi, cancel pi. Then 2 bring over, you will have r equals to 18 divided by 2. Then automatically your radius is 9 cm. Okay, 9 cm over here. So here we find the radius already. Okay, now we want to find out what is the height. So think back, when you have a circular cone, okay, the question particularly mentioned that this is a right circular cone. So here you have a height, right? You have a height that you want to find. Radius you already find. Radius equals to 9. Okay, and then do you have the slanted height? You also have the slanted height. The question I give you is 15. So you have your radius, you have your slanted height, then you use Pythagoras theorem, you should be able to find your height. Okay, your perpendicular height. So here we have 15 square minus 9 square. So you press into your calculator, you should get 12 cm. Okay, then after that, this next question, I want to find the volume of the cone. So volume equals to 1 over 3 pi r square times the perpendicular height. So in this case, 1 over 3 times pi times r square. R square is your radius. Radius is what? Is which one? I'm referring to the radius of the circular base. Okay, I'm not referring to the radius of the sector. The radius of the sector is the slanted length. So in this case, your r should equals to 9. Okay, 9 square times the height, which you already found in B already. So this is 12 cm. So put into your calculator, you should get, okay, what I want you to put in the calculator is 1 over 3 times 9 square times 12. Don't put in the pi first, because you will straight away get a, decimal place. Okay, so 1 over 3 times 9 square times 12, here you should get 3 to 4. Then I just need you to copy one thing, put the pi behind. Then this is your answer. Okay, so if you were to put the pi there, you sometimes might get decimal place, depend on which calculator you use. But if I'm not mistaken, your calculator should give you exact first, which is 324 pi. Okay, they won't give you the decimal place first. Okay, so this is one of the question. Okay, so question 5, I want you to treat it as a homework. You can do it and then we will discuss it during our next class. Okay. Okay, next then we'll be looking into spheres. Okay, spheres over here. So spheres is basically a ball. Okay, a ball. So what here did mention is sphere is a solid which all points on its surface is equidistant from the center. So for example, this is my center correct now. So this length, okay, length 1, okay, from length 2, okay, actually you can draw one more over here. Okay, then I'll draw one more line over here. Okay, from here to here, length 3. So this is what we mean by any point on the surface. Okay, let's say you have a point here, and then point on the surface. It will be the same distance to the center. It's basically a radius. Okay, it's basically a radius. And a hemisphere is basically half of the circus and its base. Okay, remember this thing. Okay, please put a star. What does it mean by hemisphere? Because it will be different if you were to find the surface area. Okay, so first thing, two things you need to remember. If you have a surface area, you will need to find, for the sphere, you need to use the 4 pi r square. Okay, basically the whole surface of the curved surface, okay, the whole curved surface of the ball. Okay, you can remember exactly. So, and then next you want to find the volume. Volume will be 4 over 3 pi r cube. Remember the point, the power. Don't mix up. Very simple one. You remember, because your volume is a cube, means that you need to multiply 3 times your length. Cm times cm times cm. The only thing that has cm is your radius. So if you realize that you only multiply 2 times, right, means that you cannot be getting a volume already one. Okay, so you always remember cube, you always cube it for volume. Okay, so be careful on this thing. Right? Then what about hemisphere? Be careful. Hemisphere have a different thing, huh? Hemisphere, if you do volume, is the same, but the special case will be your surface area. Okay, imagine a hemisphere is something like that, correct or not? And then you draw it out, it will be something like that. You are supposed to find out what is the curve area. Okay, this is your area. And the next one will be the circular base. Alright, so your first surface area, okay, would be the curve area. So this one you do 1 over 2 times 4 pi r square. Then plus 1 over 2. Do you have to do 1 over 2? You don't have to do. But what you need to do is you need to find out what's the radius first. You have the radius already over here. But your circular base, you need to do pi r square. So be careful. It's not the entire equation times 2. You need to find separately. Because it's the curved surface area plus the circular surface area. So here you should have 2 pi r square plus pi r square. So here you should have 3 pi r square. Okay, so copy down this part. You can pause the video, okay, and then copy down the working. How do we derive the hemisphere surface area? Okay, so you realize it's actually 3 pi r square. So you have to be careful on this thing. So you can remember 3 pi r square, 4 over 3 pi r cube, and 4 pi r square. So let's look at the question. First thing, question, find the volume and surface area of a sphere with a radius of 7 cm. So first thing, volume equals to what? 4 over 3 pi r cube. So 4 over 3 times pi times r. What's r? 7 cube. So put into your calculator. You should have 4 over 3 times pi r cube. Then this one, if you put into your calculator will give you an exact number. I will show you write the 3 significant figure. Okay, 1440 cm cube. Next thing, surface area, you need to find, right? Surface area is directly 4 pi r square. So 4 times pi times r. R is 7 square. So here you should have 7 square times 4 times pi. Okay. Then here you should get 196 pi. Okay, 196 pi. Then you should, if you want to write in the decimal, you should write this one. What? 616 square. Okay, next, the volume of a sphere is 1.1 meter cube. Find the radius. So volume equals to 4 over 3 pi r cube. Correct now. Then volume they give you is 1.1 equals to 4 over 3 times pi times r cube. So what I want you to do is put them everything to the other side first. Pi r cube you put on the left hand side. Then 4 over 3 you bring over. When it's multiplied, you bring over is division. So you should have 1.1 multiply, swap your fraction. Always remember, this is a shortcut you need to remember, times 5 over 3, 4 over 3. Okay. For what I will try to ask to do is don't multiply them first, because you will get a lot of decimal. What I want you to do is throw everything to the other side first. So pi you bring over, you should have r cube equals to 1.1. Okay. 1.1 multiply 3 over 4. Okay, divided by pi. Then continue throw the cube first. Okay, cube. Okay, 1.1 times 3 over 4 divided by pi. So you're going to cube root. So in your calculator, only then put in your calculator. Okay, so 1.1 multiply 3 over 4. Okay, then the whole thing, or you need to put a fraction first. Put a fraction first, 1.1 multiply 3 over 4. Then below the fraction, you put pi. So just have to insert accordingly. You should get that your radius is 0.640 meter. Okay, so I want you to try to practice to throw, because this one can help you to improve your algebra. Okay, it's like making R as a subject. Okay. Third one, the total surface area of a hemisphere is 450 cm squared. Find the volume. To find the volume of a sphere, you need to do what? Find the radius. Find the radius. So in this case, you need to use the surface area. So a hemisphere, remember, a hemisphere surface area is 3 pi r squared. So in this case, they tell you that it's 450. So you've put on the left hand side 450, right hand side 3 pi r squared. Like what I teach you before, throw everything together. What you can do is throw 3 pi together, because they are considered like a one set like that. So you have r squared equals to 450 divided by 3 pi. Then continue, put r over here. Then you have square root 450 3 pi. Then you will find out that your radius equals to what? Put into your calculator, put square root 450 divided by 3 pi. Then here you should have 0.91 cm. Okay, save your answer because you need this radius to find your volume. Okay, so volume equals to 4 over 3, but don't remember pi r cubed, correct or not? But don't remember this is a hemisphere, so you multiply 1 over 2 at the other side. Okay, so 4 over 3 times pi times 6.91, you already saved your answer, then multiply 1 over 2. So put into your calculator 4 over 3. Okay, then you put 4 over 3 times pi times cube. So you need to cube it. Okay, 6.91. If you save your answer already, put the saved answer, cube it, multiply 1 over 2 divided by 2. Okay, so you should get 691 cm cube. Okay, so almost the same concept. Okay, so let's look at the question 2. Curved surface area of a hemisphere. Okay, here already mentioned the curve. You see, they mentioned the curve. So if you look back at the one that I mentioned, your hemisphere should have the curved surface area and the circular surface area. So in this case, they're referring to A1. A1 equals to directly equals to 924.5 pi. Okay, 924 pi. Then the question asks you to find the total surface area and the volume, leaving your answer in pi. So remember, leave your answer in pi. Don't take away the pi. Don't put in your calculator and press the decimal point. Don't put that. Okay, just do the one with the pi. Okay, so first thing first is, if you want to find the surface area, total surface area and the volume, you need to find the radius of a sphere. So since they tell you that the curved surface area is 924.5 pi, then in this case you need to use this to find out what is your radius. So like I mentioned, right, our curved surface area, okay, of a sphere is 2 pi r squared. How do I get this? Okay, how do I get this? This is because of 1 over 2 multiplied 4 pi r squared. This is how we get it, right? So 1 over 2 multiplied 4, you should get 2 on the other side. So you have 2 pi r squared. So on the left hand side of the equation, I will put 924.5 pi equals to 2 pi r squared. Okay, so pi we will bring over. If you can see, you can show way cut it off the pi, right? Because it's the same constant, right? So I will put in r equals to square root. This one I already teach you before. You try to pull everything to the other side. So what I will do is 924.5, I need to divide it by 2 because I throw my 2 over. Then I throw my square over. So I have square root over here. So from here, my radius, you should get something like 924.5 divided by 2. Okay, then here you should get 91.5 cm. This is the radius already. Okay, this is the radius. So now the question actually to find the total surface area of the of the whole hemisphere. So again, remember, surface area of a hemisphere is 3 pi r squared. So here, 3 pi times r squared, you should have 21.5 squared. So when you put in your answer over here, you should get, okay, if you press in the answer, your question, your calculator should give you this. This is your surface area. Don't change to decimal. Okay, don't change to decimal. Okay, unless today you want to say that you want to put like that, then it's different thing. Okay, because this 1386.75 is 5547 over 4. I directly change this one into my decimal. Then you can, but you cannot multiply the pi and then find the entire decimal place. No. Okay, same thing. Volume is 4 over 3 pi r squared, correct? Not r cubed, but it's a hemisphere, so what I will do is multiply 1 over 2 or divided by 2. So in this case, 4 over 3 pi, okay, r squared, r is 21.5 cube, multiply 1 over 2. So put into your question, put into your calculator, you should get 1849 over 6 pi. But if you want to write like a decimal place for the coefficient, you can put your calculator 1849 divided by 6. You should then change it to decimal place. But you check, right? If you put into your decimal place, 1849 divided by 6 is recurring decimal, because it's 308.16666 all the way. So in this case, you cannot. Don't write it in. Don't round it up. Don't round it up. If you round it up, it will be incorrect already. So put it that way. Just leave it that way. It's okay. Okay, don't have to purposely find out the decimal place. So actually, if you can just stop over here already. Don't have to purposely do this. Okay, don't have to purposely do this. Not necessarily right now. Not necessary. Okay, just leave it with pi. Do not take away the pi. Don't multiply the pi, change it to decimal place. Okay, so let's look at this. Question 3, a hemispherical bowl, okay, again, a hemispherical bowl has an internal radius of 14 cm filled with water up to a height of 16 cm. 500 solid metal cylindrical pellets of 2 cm in diameter and 0.3 cm thick are dropped into the bowl. Find the rise in the water level. So this one would definitely involve your volume. Okay, so now we will need to draw it out. So I want you to draw out as what I'm going to show you over here. Okay. Okay, then we have a internal radius of 14 cm. Filled with water up into a height. So means that, let's say for example, I have water over here. Okay, this is my water. Let me use a different color. We have a water being filled up over here. Then your internal radius here, r equals to 14 cm. Okay, and then it filled to the height of 6 cm. This is height, so height equals to 6 cm. This is your water. Okay, then what do? A 500 solid metal cylindrical pellets. Okay, okay, 2 cm diameter, 2 cm diameter with 0.3 cm thick Okay, then I will need to change a bit of let me put big letter. Diameter equals to 2 cm. Okay. So what they do is this solid metal cylindrical pellet, 500 of them, okay, times 500, what they do, they put into the bowl. Then what happens? When they put into the bowl, the volume change. You remember, look at here. So this one you can write down. When they put this 500 solid metal cylindrical pellets into the water in the bowl, what actually happened? Okay, volume increase. Okay, you remember this thing. When you put into it, the volume will increase. If the volume will increase, then what will happen to the water level? The water level will increase also. That's why it mentioned find the rise in water level. Okay, find the rise in water level. So how much it rise? So what do you think you should find? First thing, you need to find the original volume of the water in the bowl first. This is one thing. Second thing, okay, the steps are, this is quite simple. What you need to do, first thing, let's say I want to find the original volume of water initial. Okay, the initial one. Okay, the original one got how many? Second, find out what is the volume of the 500 pellets, okay, that is being added into it. Okay, third, find the final volume. This one you don't have to find the final. Find the final volume is, as in the final volume of the water plus the pellets. Okay, find this one first. Okay, then change. Okay, find the new height. Okay, so we have 4 steps. We're going to do it one by one. Okay, first thing, find the volume of the water initially. Okay, I'll put it over here. Volume of the water equals to what? So it's a hemisphere, correct or not? But we are looking at the radius. Internal radius is 14 cm. So for you to find the volume is 4/3 times pi times r. Radius is 4. Okay, this is 4. And this one would be 4 squared cube. Try not to convert it into decimal, just put in terms of pi because I want it to be as accurate as possible. Okay. Okay, sorry, I need to make some changes here. Okay, so first step, the step is still the same. First thing, we want to find the volume of the initial water. So it's a hemisphere, so it's 4/3 pi r cube. But because it's a hemisphere, we'll do divided by 2. So 4/3 times pi times r. R is what? R in the question is given that it is 14 cm times 1/2. So you put in your answer times pi times 14 cube times 1/2. Okay, so here you should get 5488 divided by 3 pi. So here is 5488 over 3 pi. So I want you to save this answer. Save to what? Okay, save to A. Okay, save to A. Save it. Save your answer later. We need to use it. Second step. The question I want you to find the volume of the pellets first. Okay, volume of the platelets. And it's 500 of them, so I will times 500. So volume of the platelet is, because it's a cylindrical mass, so you remember what's the cylindrical volume that we use? We use pi r square h. Okay, multiply 500. So in this case, your radius, because diameter given is 2, so your radius must be 1. So we have pi 1 square times h. The thickness is 0.03. Okay, then you multiply 500. Okay, so here you put pi in your calculator, put 1, okay, square times 0.03 times 500. Then you should get 15 pi. Okay, so I want you to save this answer. Okay, save it as B. Okay, so you see up until now, I already done my volume of my water in the bowl initially, and I also found that how many pellet I actually put in. So what is the final volume? The question asked, I want you to find the final volume. Final volume will equals to 5488 divided by 3 plus 15 pi. Correct now? This one need to put pi. Okay, so in this case, I want you to, in your calculator, press alpha A plus alpha B. Then you should get 5533 divided by 3 pi. Until now, don't change to decimal place. What I want you to now do is save this as C. Okay, save this as C. So save as C. Okay, then the third step is to this is the third step. Then the fourth step is to find the new height already. So before you find the new height, you need to find what is the new radius. Okay, so for now, what is the new radius? So for you to find a volume of your hemisphere, you need to do 4/3 pi r square times 1/2 equals to, in this case, your volume is a new one, is 5533 divided by 3 pi. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to simplify this equation. First thing I can see is, one, on left hand side you have pi, right hand side you have pi, you can take it away. It's totally fine. Then this r square is the new r square, so I will write it in a different color. Let me write it in different. I got this one. R. Put in a big R. Okay, r square. Okay, so in this case you have 4/3 multiply 1/2. So I want you to what I want you to do is try to simplify your right hand side first. Okay, so here you have 2/3, 2/3 multiply, I put the big R square. This is the new radius. Equals to 5533. The pi is already gone. The pi is already gone. Then now what you're going to do is, again what I have mentioned last time, try to push everything to the other side first. So at least now 5533/3, you multiply 3/2, and you square root it. Then press into your calculator. Okay, press slowly. 5533 divided by 3 multiply 3/2. Then here your radius, big radius, new radius should be 52.59. This one I want you to save as D. Okay, save your answer as D. Alpha, press the fourth one. Okay, press the fourth one, D. Save first. Okay, save as D. This, we are only finding the new radius, but doesn't mean that we find the new height. So how do we find the new height? Now you need to use similarity. Okay, you need to use similarity. So what I want you to look at is, first thing, you realize that first, your original one, when your radius is 14 cm, your height is 6 cm. So when your radius, okay, this is your new height. Okay, the new height. So I think not enough space. Let me write somewhere else. Okay, so I want you to find somewhere else to write. Okay, I'll write it over here. Now you do similarity. Your old radius and your old height over big radius over your new height. The new height is something that you don't know yet. Okay, so in this case, new height equals to, you cross multiply them. Okay. Okay, you should have RH multiply big R small h. Big R small h over R. So big R you already found is 52.59 multiply small h, which is your 6 yen, divided by 14. Okay, then your new height, okay, multiply 6 divided by 4. Okay, so when you press into your calculator, the 52.2959, put the letter D. Okay, don't just straight away put in the what. Okay, then your new height should be 78.9 cm. Okay, so now you can also treat question 4 as your homework. Okay, but I will show you how to do 4A first. Okay, so the volume of a hemisphere with a radius r is 3 times the cone of the radius and the perpendicular height. Okay, be careful. Now we are looking at two different things. First thing, hemisphere, you have a radius r. Okay, and then you have a cone. Okay, with the base radius, let me put this as, okay, big R. Okay, I'll put this as big R. And the perpendicular height of h. Okay, so now the question wants you to show that 3h equals to 2r. Okay, 3h equals to 2r. So your hemisphere radius is this small r. Okay, then they tell you that r, this radius r, is 3 times, okay, that of a cone with the radius r. Okay, the volume of, okay, the volume, right down here, volume of the hemisphere is 3 times the volume of a cone. Okay, the cone with a radius r. So in this case, you take away the big R, put small r. Means they have the same radius, Okay, means they have the same radius. So hemisphere, for you to find the hemisphere volume is 4 over 3 pi r square multiply 1 over 2. This is one thing you already know. Then for you to find the volume of the cone, if you look back at the one that we do just now, volume of a cone is 1 over 3 pi r cube. And then, yes. Okay, so if you look back here, my volume for this one is 1 over 2 pi r cube. Pi r square h. Sorry. Pi r square h. Okay, so we already put in our formula and substitute certain things in already, right? But now we can't substitute it because we need to find out what is the final answer. So they already tell you volume of hemisphere is 3 times volume of cone. So left hand side, right hand side, you also need to simplify. So for the left hand side here, you will realize that is 4 over 3 multiply 1 over 2. Multiply the coefficient first. So here you have 2 over 3 pi r square. Next, 3 times 1 over 3, you get 1. So you are left with pi r square h on the right hand side. Then, like I mentioned just now, what you can do is the constant, you can take it away. So the pi is a number. It's a fixed number. You already take it away already. So you have 2 over 3 r square equals to r square h. Okay, oh sorry, here supposed to be r cube, not r square. Okay, oh yeah, okay, so always remember, even I will sometimes make the mistake, your volume must be cube. You need to times 3 times. Okay, now after that, you have, what you can do is do this equals to r square times h. So what we do multiplication, cross multiplication, you have 2r cube equals to r squared over h3. Alright, then here you have 2r cube, bring the r over, you will have r squared and 3h. Then what do you realize? You can do your division. So here you have r cubed divided by r squared, you should have left with 1r only, 3h. So this is your answer. How to show. Okay, so I want you to try your question B as your homework. So that's all for today. Okay, so we will discuss the question before we move on to the composite shapes.